machine. I wasn't always just a single shade, a palette full of gray in reverie. And I can burn it brighter than the sun. I have a golden gun inside of me. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else. And if I fall behind, ignoring all the signs, and if I lose the fight, I still rage against the I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine. It's plain and simple, dear. I'll still be here when you're gone. You gather souvenirs, but I will never be your pawn. Your pawn. Your pawn. My love wasn't ever a game. I lay with cards out on the table. There's nothing to gamble away. But I can promise that you'll never be the same. But I can promise that you'll never be the same. You can double down. I'll still be a proud haven for your love is never love. A river through your bluff, I will be enough, enough, enough. And I think I found somebody who deserves it. If you put the work in, you can earn it. You and me together could be perfect. Put the work in, 'cause I'm worth it. And I think I found somebody who deserves it. If you put the work in, you can earn it. Got the kind of body that I wanna put my body on.
Work it, work it. Work it, work it. Work it, work it. Turn up the heat and stop till it's perfect. Work it, work it. Work it, work it. Work it, work it. Turn up the heat and stop till it's perfect. Work it, work it. Work it, work it. Work it, work it. Turn up the heat and stop till it's perfect. Work it, work it. Work it, work it. Work it, work it. Turn up the heat and stop till it's perfect.
How could you do that to me? You got me bouncing off the walls.
Welcome to the Wednesday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Wednesday. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. Sorry about that, folks. We got a couple of tech issues to figure out, but that's okay. How's everybody doing? Michael Hasser, welcome. Bella Lugrisi, Derry Bennett. Welcome. Thanksgiving. Yeah, Thanksgiving is basically here, folks. And you know what that means? No work. At least for me. That means no work for the next, 5 or 6 days, as far as I'm concerned. Michael Hasser works it. Nice pop filter color. I really like this color. It's not always that I can get it, but when I do, I really like this blue. It's probably one of my favorite types of blue. This kind of light blue. But yeah, because you're supposed to replace these ever so often. You're supposed to replace them ever so often. So this is the second one I've had. I've had to go back to the normal, just standard black one. But sometimes, yeah, I'll get the option to get this one. Nadia, welcome. Looney Tunes, welcome. Today we're just gonna hang out, folks. It's not gonna be a very long stream. But there is still quite the amount of stuff to talk about, regardless. The holidays are upon us, folks. The year is basically coming to an end. I know it feels like it's more than a year, but 2025 is coming to an end, folks. If you want to do the channel a solid and you want to support the channel, there are many different ways of doing so. You can check out the merch store, hit the ! tip button. Join the Discord, folks. Join the Discord and check out the Substack. Do all the things. Did someone try to shoot at the White House? I think National Guardsmen were shot. I'm not sure if the White House itself was targeted, but there was 2 National Guardsmen shot. I think they were near the White House. our information on that is very limited. They apparently have the guy, whoever did it. They've caught the person. It does seem like the 2 guardsmen have passed away. Nice. 15 stream streak just in time for martial law. So yeah, it does seem like these 2 guardsmen have died. There was a potential 3rd person, but I'm not sure. There's like a lot of stuff that's in progress right now, so we don't know very much. We have no motivation. We don't know who or anything like that. But as Michael Hetzer suggested, maybe it's just a pretense to something further. I have no idea. Schmagley, welcome. Let's get started, folks, because we got to get going. I don't even know if we should cover this.
Big news that dropped on Friday night, which is that Marjorie Taylor Greene announced her resignation.
Hi, everyone. I've always represented the common American man and woman as a member of the House of Representatives, which
no. Let me just stop you right there. No, but continue.
is why I've always been despised in Washington, D.C. and just never fit in.
That's not the reason why. The reason why she's despised in Washington, D.C. and all over politics and is generally by most people repulsed is because she is a crank. And often spews conspiracy theories, has said anti-Semitic stuff in the past, has been introduced and been seen with Nazis and fascists. So yeah, I mean, part of the MAGA movement, yeah, just quintessential. The reason why you're despised is because you're like the portrait of like the deplorables, okay? Bruno, welcome. Are we live from Polymarket Studios? We are. We are.
Americans are used by the political industrial complex of both political parties, election cycle after election cycle, in order to elect whichever side can convince Americans to hate the other side more. And the results are always...
All right, well, the line...
Well, also, like, isn't she a part of that too? Welcome, Seth Evans. You hear about how Trump got 2 National Guardsmen shot in D.C. I did hear about the 2 guardsmen. We were just talking about it. Our information really is very low. I have no idea what's going on there. President Trump assured us that D.C. was safe and there's no crime in D.C. and that nobody's getting shot anymore. And apparently that's not true because that's not how you deal with crime. Doesn't she catfight pretty often with Lauren Boebert, too? I think they did have a spat, didn't they? I don't know.
Short of this is that...
Sam, there was 10 minutes left.
The long and short is she is resigning on January 5th. And the important thing that you should know about this, well, there's a couple of things.
Christmas tree before Thanksgiving?
Exactly. Well,
it's messaging.
Let's talk about this. Marjorie Taylor Greene... This is reported. This was reported a month ago. Well, I guess like 3 weeks ago, which is interesting. Why it was reported then? But Marjorie Taylor Greene is an American business person and politician who currently serves as the member of U.S. Congress from Georgia's 14th district. And let's go down. When Marjorie Taylor entered office in 2021, her net worth was about $700,000. You've got to disclose like your assets. Marjorie Taylor Greene, 4 years later, she joined Congress in 2021 in January. So it'll be 5 years as of January 26th. She is now worth $25 million.
Nice.
Good.
$25 million. Her net worth has risen. I can't do the math, so I'm going to go under 25 times. But it's really probably closer to like 35, 700,000. Like, what is
The
it?
ultimate math nerd. Also woke, a difficult truth, loves to ignore my phone calls. I'm coming to your house in Georgia, Mr. ADT. Welcome, Kirkentine's monster. I'm open to her growing a conscience, but also to her scheming. I mean, like, yeah, I think that she knows the game's kind of over, for her. So yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. She would have to like do a lot more, to convince me that she's genuinely changed. But obviously anyone can change. But that has to come. That has to be shown, not talked about. Because she can say a lot of things, but it doesn't do me any good if she's still the same person, right? If she's still taking the same actions.
Wait, like, how did she do this? How did she do this? Now, let me be clear. We see this all the time with the worst of the worst in the House.
Yep.
I can guarantee you that AOC, who entered into Congress in 2018 with a net worth of much less, has not increased her net worth by 25 times. This is all from Marjorie Taylor Greene making really, really smart investment decisions that she didn't make in the years before she entered Congress. But then, I think
She locked in.
she locked in. She really did. This now is time for me to focus. And this is undoubtedly insider trading. Her wealth comes from majority ownership in her family's construction business, which also increased.
Yeah, I'm
now,
sure
I don't
she
know
got
like
benefits
where
from
that money came from necessarily, or how that increased so dramatically over 4 years. There must have been a lot of building going on in Georgia over the past 4 years that her company could be worth that much. Stunning.
She had PPP loans forgiven, if I recall.
I have no doubt.
For Taylor Commercial
here that she invested in Palantir about 3 days before a huge contract was awarded.
Oh, she was very smart about that.
Nice. Yeah, just sound investments, huh? Lucky. Fascinating. Honestly, how is she that much different from Nick Fuentes? She's not. She's really not. She's just like more of a politician, but yeah, she's not. She was introduced in a couple of events by Nick Fuentes. Like, yeah, she's not really that fundamentally. She's really not that much different.
Yes, Marjorie Taylor Greene bought Palantir shares days before ICE granted a tech giant. I mean, it's on and on and on.
Nice.
Scroll down. Let's see how much she got in there.
God is good.
Yep, she just prayed and it came to her.
Yeah.
Because she was deserving.
Go scroll up. Sorry, she's on the scroll up right there. She sits on the House Committee of Homeland Security, which oversees the agency. But I said, wow.
I had a feeling.
I mean, that's such a that is such a wild coincidence, man. That is wonderful coincidence, right? It's almost like it isn't a coincidence. We all know for sure is that 100% of the reason 2 West Virginia National Guardsmen were in D.C. to be shot was solely at the insistence of Trump and his government passing on. I mean, yeah, to be fair, yeah, the only reason they're there is because Trump deployed them there. Yeah, that's true. You know, the only reason those guardsmen were there at all was because Trump put them there. Yeah, Eric Trump gave advice. God is sound, people making when they're too tired to think anymore.
And then you had that Twitter handle, unusual. This is unusual trading by a politician. Marjorie Taylor Greene bought Palantir on April 8th. On April 17th, Palantir was awarded a government contract with ICE to develop immigration notes.
Praise Jesus.
Oh, Palantir is up nearly 50%. That is, listen, they say Republicans are much better with money. Now we understand that.
Yeah. Well, we should give credit because this is bipartisan. On the subway here, I saw an ad for like a retail stock trading app that had Nancy Pelosi's face on it. So,
no, yeah.
That's
There's
an app that tracks
you
her
can get
trading.
an app that tracks her trading.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, without a doubt. I mean, Nancy
legitimately have a
Pelosi
friend who made a lot of
was
money off that
definitely
app.
doing. Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Yep.
This is why AOC was trying to lead a push to keep
Stock
houses
trading
of
app.
members from trading stocks.
I mean,
And,
I think Pelosi ended up saying, "Oh, I agree with that." Later on in her career, I mean, she's cashed out quite enough, and she's retiring. But
How much do you agree? You want to return some of that money?
How much
But I
ice
mean-
cream can you buy?
But that's like a cheap kind of populist thing that every Democrat should get behind, and the ones that aren't are absolutely
Making a huge killing on it.
well. They're making a huge killing, and they're also just like indicative of the rot in.
Yeah, it's so brazen. It's so brazen. All of this is just 100% consistent with a pack of rabid dogs turning on itself.
In the party, the fact that we can't draw a contrast with these freaks is, a result of them.
There's a lot of people who perceive going into government, going into politics as a way of making money. And it's very hard, I think, for some of us to sort of conceive of this because you go and you do it because you're committed to making things better for people, that it's not like a mechanism to drive your business interests.
Exactly. And like I saw some critique at saying that this is because of her pension. Apparently she's going to get $8,700 annually beginning in 11
Well, I
years.
think 14 grand annually or
Okay.
something, but whatever.
Either way, that is not how people get rich in Congress. In fact, we should be paying our members of Congress more. I would be down to double their salaries so they're less dependent on outside
Need to.
money like this. We see an extreme version of that in Texas, where all of these representatives down there.
Yeah, and you also have to actually enforce the rules in play, right? Like you're having brazen insider trading. Like this is not up for discussion. It's in our face. It's right in front of our face. Like we have to not only continue to disincentivize Congress to be more bought, but we have to enforce the rules that we have with insider trading. And we also have to do this is kind of like a three-prong attack here. Not only do we have to make Congress more resilient to outside influence, but we also need to enforce the laws that we have, and we also have to make more efforts to claw back all of this deregulation to allow money in politics to the point where it is now just giant slush funds swirling about buying politicians here and there. So yeah, that's kind of like a three-prong attack here. Right, she suddenly figured out the momentum trading analysis. Marjorie Taylor Greene's resignation timing secures her congressional pension by 3 days. Yeah, nice. Good job. Good job, Marge.
But they make very low 5 figures or something like that. They only work part of the year. They do this so that you can have a revolving door of small business people or people that can get paid by interests that are outside of the government. And so if you were to pay our representatives a more lucrative wage that would also be measure up to their public profile, right? I mean, there are sacrifices in that way that come with it.
You got to have 2 homes.
Yeah, well, that's true, right? Marjorie Taylor Greene with her 25 mil can have at least 2 homes, and like Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib have to be in the same boat. That shouldn't be the case.
It's the same structural problem with, like, say, media internships, where you need to be basically from a wealthy family in order to be able to do an internship because they don't actually pay enough. And they know that. It is intentional that it's kept that way. And the whole, like, oh, they're voting for a raise for themselves, sort of faux populism is just them cynically knowing that they want to maintain the system where everyone needs a corporate daddy to get money can't come around campaign season.
Okay, now there's more to this story.
True.
So Marjorie Taylor Greene is leaving Congress, and what that does is it starts to make the very, very thin majority that the Republicans have even thinner. Let me look at this breakdown here. I thought I had it written down, the actual numbers, but Punchbowl reports on this.
Now, I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene is probably just going to be replaced with another Republican, right? I would imagine. Like, if Marjorie Taylor Greene was able to win her district, it means that it was probably heavily gerrymandered. So I suspect that probably whoever's going to follow, it's going to be just another Republican.
The crux of MTG's message is that Trump and the House Republicans are abandoning all of the president's priorities, falling into complacency, and are on the brink of squandering their razor-thin majority. We had been speculating for a while that she was doing this stuff because she was iced by the president in that Senate run that she wanted to do in Georgia. And she got pissed. And she realized, like, there's no path for her. And then AOC spilt that tea also. So that was fairly obvious. And I think what happened is she realized, like, I have no future in this party.
Look at Sam using cool and hip language, like spilling tea.
And I've made $25 million over the past 5 years, which is a pretty good, that's pretty good. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty good.
I would say so.
Sort of mid-level MBA salary.
Nothing to sneeze at.
Right.
Okay. And she's like, I'm going to get while the
Shoot, just give me $1 million. I'd be happy.
Getting's good. And I'll stay an extra 2 weeks. So
half of that is like never work again money.
So that I can get vested in my pension and I probably get health care. Why wouldn't I?
And she wouldn't have to take future votes that could be an issue for her future political career if she has one.
And you know what? She doesn't have to run in this race because she was worried she was going to get primaried. So she's not going to have to spend down any of her money or actually go through the effort associated with this. And then she's thinking, like, well, if I win, all I'm going to do is win to serve in the minority. And that sucks.
Yep.
You don't get the same, like, benefits. And who knows when we'll be back in the majority, because the Republicans are starting to think they're going to get slaughtered in the midterms. And it's hard to come up with a scenario where they don't at least lose the House. Whether it's going to be a slaughter, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I hope. I hope so, because basically, if the Republicans lose just the House, like President Trump's presidency, it's basically done, right? Like, even if the Democrats do nothing, okay, which I expect them to do, they don't have to do anything, actually. Even then, the president's basically term is done. No man's life, liberty, or property are safe while the legislature is in. Mark Twain. The GA state legislature, the same. It's like $15K a year part-time position, which, yeah, that's the kind of that keeps everyone but the people with wealthy families to support them out. Yeah, no kidding. Like, what am I supposed to do with 15? I make more than that. We should also probably just dispense with that popularity contest and impossible information problem that comes with it of elections. Ideally, like, randomly select people for service like a jury. That'd be kind of cool. I wish we can do that. Seems superior to the extent that we even need much representative bodies acting on our behalf at all. They've rigged it all enough that I doubt that they'll lose the House. I mean, they're still trying to fight with this whole, like, redistricting stuff. among other voter suppression legislation. It might be enough, but they also might be deeply that unpopular that they'll lose. I mean, it just really depends on it's a handful of seats that could flip it. Why are we still talking about Marjorie Taylor Brown? She's a loser. Bye-bye. Can we let her rot in hell already? Just let it go, otherwise you'll face federal charges live on Fox News. Thank you for your attention to this matter. But just in general, rethinking the logic of these institutions we've inherited and obviously don't serve most of us. Yep. Random selection is called sortition. Yep.
So just right now, we have 219 Republicans and 213 Democrats. If Democrats win in Tennessee, and you're going to be interviewing that candidate,
Afton Bain,
and she's actually a really good candidate, regardless of. But in Tennessee, it's like a plus 22 Republican seat. But right now,
Republicans are worried.
Everything's on the table. They're pouring money into that race. Emma's going to talk to her on Wednesday.
Yeah, because there's literally like only a handful of seats that can make that difference. I'm not confident on the Senate, but the House is where the House is where things start to look more shaky. And given her House district, yes, it's very effing red, like the boondocks of GA. Yep.
Democrats win in Tennessee. Unlikely, but very possible. It'll be 219 to 214. Then Marjorie Taylor Greene leaves in January. Then it's 218 to 214. After the Texas special election on January 31st, it's going to be 218 to 215 because it's a Democratic seat. That's definitely a Democrat's going to win there. In April, if Democrats hold New Jersey's 11th special, it would be 218 to 216. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene's replacement is scheduled for March.
Yeah, so that might be, that's literally just a couple of seats. Ladybug, welcome. That's literally just a couple of seats.
Presumably, the Republican will win that. But you should know that the Tennessee race, Tennessee's 22nd, is very close to Marjorie Taylor Greene's district. And I don't know if they're in the same media market.
How's that gerrymander working? I hope it doesn't. The Supreme Court's going to make that decision. Without 2/3 of the Senate, conviction is impossible. Oh, you mean like for impeachment? Yeah, no, he's not going to get impeached. But I'm saying that if there's a situation where Democrats win, even if they legitimately don't, don't do anything, it effectively makes the Trump presidency come to a halt, essentially. I thought you weren't on this space on Wednesday because you were doing this space on Wednesdays. No, that I just appeared on Wednesdays because of Left Past 10. I've made a couple of appearances on Left Past 10, and those are usually on Wednesday. So sometimes, if you do see me on Wednesdays, it's because probably I was on that show. But other than that, it's always Tuesdays. Welcome, Soul Life. In any case.
But if you get to 218 to 216 or 219 to 214, things are very, very thin. And then in this story that is in
that's like a handful of races are going to basically determine this. I had to refresh 5 times over 10 minutes for this finally to pop up on my feed.
A Punch Bowl today.
Thanks, YouTube.
a few other members of the Republicans messaged us over the weekend saying that they too are considering retiring in the middle of the term. Understand, like, why you would do this. If you know you're going to lose, running an election is no fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Please. Let them keep doing, let them destroy themselves. I'm okay with that. They'll have the ready-made and not entirely without validity excuse that Republicans still control the Senate and also the presidency to do their favorite thing, nothing, even if they just win the House. Yeah, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with them doing nothing, because that means that Republicans won't get a lot of done. And they can not only do they get to block Republicans by simply doing nothing, but they can do nothing, and that's okay. As weird as it sounds, as weird of a scenario it sounds, it's like, great, I expect you guys to do nothing, but that's okay. I want you to do nothing. I'm building a pumpkin pie from scratch. I know you're all jealous. Oh, no, I can't do that. Mrs. Truth is gonna do that, but me, I can't. I'm not very good. They would need to impeach down the entire line of succession until a Democrat is promoted to president. That said, the Democrats are just COINTELPRO Gladio rubbish, so they wouldn't do that even with the votes. I mean, I don't trust them to do anything meaningful, but I would be content with them doing nothing. I mean, even if they pretend to launch investigations and hearings, that gums up like time, okay? That gums up time, and they get to set the agenda for the House. So yeah, I mean, yeah, them doing nothing is what I expect them to do, and that's okay. And that's okay.
If you think, even if I win, all I'm going to do is come back and have no ability to do anything and get treated like even worse garbage I am now, because they're saying, this is what some Republicans said, the entire White House team has treated all members like garbage, all. And Mike Johnson has let it happen because he wanted it to happen. That's the sentiment of nearly all appropriators, authorizers, hawks, doves, rank and file. The arrogance of the White House team is off-putting to members who are run roughshod and threatened. Members know they're going into the minority after the midterms. More explosive early resignations are coming. It's a tinderbox. Morale has never been lower. Mike Johnson will be...
I hope this reporting is so true, man. I need this copium, okay? Well, this would be hopium. I need this hopium, okay?
Stripped of his gavel, and they will lose the majority before this term is out.
Inshallah. I mean, why are they complaining? Because didn't you guys vote in your own way to give away your own power to the president and actively participated in the neutering of your own body? And then when it looks like the honeymoon's over and you're going to lose your seat, then you're complaining that you don't have power anymore?
Yep.
I mean, tough shit.
Understand, okay, this dynamic is so important. Now, I'm not sure it's necessarily a positive for the Democrats to get the House before, the election. Maybe it could be. This is a Punch Bowl article. We got it on, pop it up here. I want to go down to the calendar. Scroll down a little bit. Back up. The calendar, it's in red. Scroll back down. You passed it. Go slow. Right. The calendar.
Aha!
The legislative climate is brutal. Enhanced Obamacare premium subsidies expire at the end of December. Trump is supposedly proposing a plan to...
Yeah, so just to be clear, I don't know like when this particular article came out, but Trump is now saying that he's not going to do the Obamacare extended subsidies. So, hey folks, you got about, a month and a week or so? A month and 2 weeks, we'll say, at most, before your health insurance prices go through the roof. Anyone who is on those subsidized Obamacare plans are about to have to shell out anywhere from 2 times more or more for the health insurance. So you can thank the president, you can thank Republicans, and you can thank Democrats for folding and giving up this to the Republicans. Okay. Right. The Stock Act in 2012 prohibits members and employees of Congress from using any non-public information derived from the individual's position. The Stock Act required a 1-year study of the growing political intelligence industry and requires every member of Congress to publicly file and disclose any financial transactions, stocks, bonds, commodities, futures, and other securities within 45 days on their website. Yep.
Okay. It would include an extension of the subsidies so Republicans can come up with their own long-term proposal. This will split the Republicans on Capitol Hill.
Yeah, Mike Johnson said this is a non-starter. It's not happening.
And then government funding expires on January 30th. The amount, remember, all of these Republicans are afraid to have town halls because they're tired of getting, harassed, harangued, etc. If you have a Republican congressman, if you are in a Republican district, it is time for you to work the phones and complain. Very nicely complain. And complain not as a Democrat, but as a Republican. Because you want that staffer to go back and go, I'm getting Republican complaints that you could say, I can't believe that you're even contemplating extending Obamacare subsidies. I hate Obamacare. Obama's a communist, socialist, and I don't like the president praising Zohran Momdani. And this is, you've got to call and just make them feel like their own voters are upset. And some of you might be the straw that breaks the camel's back, that forces, or just like one of your Republican congressmen will be like, F this, I'm done. I had too much.
Yeah, so everyone's picking up what Sam's throwing down here, right? If you're in the U.S., and especially if you have Republican representatives, hop on the phones, folks.
The fun time, those 6 weeks off when we didn't have to do anything. And then Christmas break, and I'm like, I don't want to go back to D.C.
Right.
I'm going to save some cash. I'm going to, stop renting that apartment in D.C. I'm going to come back and
won't have to rent my mistress's apartment either.
Exactly. I don't have to deal with the girlfriend in D.C. and then the girlfriend here and then the wife. It's just going to be just the girlfriend here and the wife.
You gotta simplify.
And
things.
who knows? I mean, it's dialing for dollars in this instance for you. It's just that the payoff could be, it's like, like fifth caller. You win, a free toaster or whatever it is. So folks should get on that. It'll be interesting to see how they handle this.
Yeah. I'll believe it when I see it too. We're hearing about, we'll see these resignations, but I was taken aback by Marjorie Taylor Greene doing this. I wonder what she does next. Media, I would be my guess. Her husband.
got $25 million just being an influencer.
Yeah. I mean, she can join Minect now.
I got you just
wanted to bring that in.
That's beneath her.
I learned about it this morning.
Minect sounds like a hemorrhoid cream.
It really does.
We should also say there's an interesting story in Politico about how from Texas to Pennsylvania to Ohio, Democratic-backed candidates ran successful campaigns in the nation's largest school systems in political battlegrounds. The salience of the culture war for Republicans is at an all-time low. It'll come back up. But what's happening is that there is enough anger amongst Democratic voters They are just engaging and they're seeing the implications of electing.
Yeah. Also, Republicans are just so unbelievably dog shit. Yeah. You see how low the ratings are going for the woke majority report? Very, very low. Cancel it already. You know, they say that Sam Cedar is one of the best political commentators, but he doesn't know what he's talking about. I know politics. Okay, Sam Cedar, little Samuel, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
A bunch of fundamentalist lunatics to the Board of Education. And these people were able to sort of like generate enthusiasm on their side by hatred of trans people, by hatred of gay people, by hatred of brown people.
Yep, a serious welcome.
And parents have basically said, I guess I have to engage in this stuff now. And they have. In addition to Texas, Republicans lost seats in the suburbs of Columbus, Ohio, and the national battleground of Pennsylvania, because local leaders are now starting to actually engage. So this is probably the most positive show we've had in
quite a while.
And Republicans are in complete disarray. It's going to be interesting to see what Trump comes up with. It's basically going to be these sort of like health savings accounts, which,
yeah, I mean, that's not going to happen either. Like this idea that Trump's just going to give you Trump bucks to spend on healthcare. Like that's not going to solve the problem. Okay. If we don't have any type of like subsidies or anything like that, and all we get are just like Trump bucks. That's not going to help if our prices are going to be so exorbitantly high that we can't cover it. Hey, Galactic Stream Lord, welcome. Hey, folks, please go check out GNN's channel. On Twitch here as Galactic Streamlord. Go support him. Go hit that follow, like, notifications.
Who knows if people are going to be eligible? It's basically encouraging people just to get catastrophic health insurance. That's what the plan is. Now,
juice the market along the way.
And juice the market a little bit along the way. I don't know how effective they'll be. The rates are still going to go up.
Yep.
From the insurance company's perspective, putting money in HSA plans don't necessarily do anything to enhance the risk pools. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out.
Yeah. So another way of putting it is nothing. Nothing. That's the Republican healthcare plan. The Republican healthcare plan is either be indebted with medical debt for the rest of your life or die. I guess. All right, folks, we got to run through these. Again, it's going to be a short-ish stream. We're learning more details about what happened with these the deportation flights that happened to earlier this year. Apparently, it was Kristi Noem who made the call. The Justice Department, I guess she's the one that's going to be thrown under the bus regardless. I guess that's who they're saying did it. The Justice Department acknowledged on Tuesday that it was Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem who had decided to proceed with the deportation of 100 Venezuelan men to notorious concentration camp in El Salvador, despite a judge's order to keep them in U.S. custody. The disclosure came in response to demands by U.S. District Judge James Boasberg that the administration identify the officials involved in authorizing an unprecedented deportation operation in March that sent the men to a concentration camp known for abusive treatment because it is a concentration camp. Boasberg recently resumed his bid to conduct contempt proceedings over the episode after an appeals court released a month's long hold on the process. So these things are continuing. Noam's call ensured that the deportees rounded up and expelled with virtually no due process under President Trump's invoked war powers to designate them as members of a transnational gang would remain imprisoned in El Salvador under harsh conditions for months until the U.S. helped brokered a prisoner swap that resulted in all the men being returned to Venezuela. The assertion that it was Noam who made the decision, despite a frantic effort by lawyers for the men backed by Boasberg to halt the transfer, adds a wrinkle to the murky timeline surrounding the deportation effort. The Justice Department described the decision in response to efforts by Boasberg to determine why the government disregarded his March 15th order to prevent the abrupt deportations. The judge, appointed by former President Obama, had already concluded that the administration officials likely engaged in criminal contempt of court in their handling of the episode. I wonder who's going to end up going to jail for this, if anybody. I really do want to know how this is going to pan out. And of course, we'll keep track of how this goes down, because this is by far one of the more serious and egregious human rights violations that we've seen. Not that they're not constantly happening. I'm saying this is the most prolific one in front of the media. And Christy dog killer Noam's Nazi military is coming to invade my hometown. F ICE. DOJ's officials say Noam's decision was informed by legal advice from the top levels of the Justice Department, including Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. Oh, yeah. And then Principal Associate Deputy Attorney General Emil Bove. Fantastic. And the Department of Homeland Security. That advice relied on an unusual claim that Boasberg's oral order to turn around the deportation flights had no force. Oh, man. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Let's see how this all pans out for you people. For you freaking clowns. And his subsequent written order, they argued, was similarly ineffective because the flights had already left U.S. airspace. Yep. Nice. After receiving the legal advice, Secretary Noam directed that the AEA detainees who had been removed from the United States, the Aliens Enemies Act, before the court's order, could be transferred to custody of El Salvador. The Justice Department attorney, Tiberius Davis, wrote in a new filing, that decision was lawful and consistent with the reasonable interpretation of the court's order. Yeah, okay. You can say that, but that's not what happened. That's why this is all going down right now. Come on, cat, you need to get down. Go on, kitty. Effing demons indeed. HSAs are basically tax exemptions for out-of-pocket healthcare spending, which means next to nothing if your income is lower than having a disposable income too small by merely whatever tax rate gets exempted by the HSA. Yeah, true. True. Yeah, wheels off the ground, no take backsies. The Justice Department filing is silent about whether Trump or any White House officials were involved in the decision to continue with the deportations in the face of the judge's orders. Davis argued that no contempt proceedings were warranted and that Boasberg should not hold a hearing where he would hear live testimony from administration officials. The government's filing today raises more questions than it answered, says Lee Gallant of the ACLU, an attorney for the deportees. It certainly doesn't explain why the Trump appointees discarded the view of the senior career DOJ lawyers who plainly understood that the men weren't supposed to be handed over to El Salvador under judges. Oof. Man, I've noticed a lot that, like, these mainstream media articles, they just don't have the same level of spell check. I mean, every time I see, there's always one or two typos. Anyways, in a filing earlier Tuesday, lawyers for deportees urged Boasberg to demand testimony from 9 current and former officials, including Bove, who is now a federal appeals court judge, and Erez Ravoni, who was fired in April and has accused Bove of telling other DOJ lawyers in vulgar terms that they needed to defy any court order blocking the deportations. Yikes, Bove had denied the allegations. The Supreme Court ultimately ruled 6-3 that Boasberg lacked jurisdiction to oversee the case the men brought on an emergency basis in March. although the justices later blocked further deportations under the Alien Enemies Act. Boasberg has concluded the legal precedent permits him to carry on with the contempt proceedings even if the underlying order was later deemed to be flawed. I certainly intend to find out what happened that day, and the government can assist me to whatever degree it wishes. Nice. What a rock to be able to continue to do that. This is the kind of stuff I wish was happening across the board. But here we are. Lawyers for the deported men are urging Boasberg to demand sworn statements from senior administration's officials involved in the March 15th operation and the decision to deplane the men despite Boasberg's command. We'll keep track on that and see what ends up happening. Speaking of cases that we have been following, hey, remember that Georgia case that was implicating Trump orbiters and inner circle and maybe even Trump himself in election interference is now going away. Poof. So I guess there will be absolutely no consequences for the shenanigans that the Trump campaign engaged in, and Republicans as well. So I guess I was wrong. None of this mattered at all. President Trump and the Republicans from top to bottom can attempt to rig elections without impunity, apparently. Georgia prosecutor who took over the 2020 election interference case drops charges against Trump and others. So, I guess no justice at all. Editors have collapsed. They aren't even using AI, even more basic spell checkers. Yeah, noted. I see that. I see that. That's really embarrassing. I mean, it wouldn't even take that much. Like, you can just slap it on Grammarly. It's free. Can't even be bothered to do that. Everything is without precedent until it happens. True. A Georgia judge ended the sprawling 2020 election interference case against President Trump and his co-defendants after the prosecutor who took it over said he was dropping the charges. Nice! Man, what a convenience. The decision from the Fulton County Superior Court Judge Scott McAfee came shortly after prosecutor Peter Skandalakis notified the judge he will not proceed with the charges. Skandalakis took over the case earlier this month after the original prosecutor, Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis, was disqualified. In my professional opinion, the citizens of Georgia are not served by pursuing this case in full for another 5 to 10 years. Skandalakis wrote, saying he was ending the case to serve the interests of justice and promote judicial finality. So I don't know what that means. Because, like, what are you talking about? Wouldn't the citizens of Georgia be served by served more by finding out the truth in a court of law whether or not the president of the United States tried to invalidate their vote? How's that how's that for serving the citizens of Georgia? I mean, you're basically saying to the citizens of or residents of Georgia that their vote at any point could be under attack, and you will not protect that. If the president decides that he wants to go and try to do some shenanigans and invalidate their vote, then he can, because there's going to be no charges, right? That's what this tells, not just Georgians, but the president himself, right? Like, he's no longer going to be facing consequences for attempting to manipulate the results of an election. So what that tells him is, we're all clear, we're good to go, we can do this again and not be charged, maybe even be successful next time. He said the decision is not guided by a desire to advance an agenda, but is based on my beliefs and understanding of the law. Yeah, whatever, dudes. The president celebrated the end of what he called an illegal, unconstitutional, and un-American hoax in a post of Truth Social. Law and justice have prevailed in the great state of Georgia as the corrupt Fani Willis witch hunt against me and the other great American patriots have been dismissed in its entirety, he wrote, while also continuing to press his false claims that the election had been rigged and stolen. Like, I mean, the guy, right after these charges were dismissed, is immediately posting on social media as to why those charges should not have been dismissed. He's going on about rigged elections and stolen elections that he did. The Trump's defense lawyer, Steve Sadow praised the decision in a statement. The political persecution of the president by disqualifying DA Fani Willis is finally over. But like that's the thing though. Like, he just decided to drop the case. Okay, if the other prosecutor, Sladakis or whatever his name is, wanted to pursue this, then it wouldn't have mattered who brought the case, right? Like, who cares about Fani Willis? You're there to prosecute the case to see if whether or not this happened. That was the whole point, because that's some serious allegations, and apparently a grand jury found it compelling enough to issue that indictment. Elections have been getting rigged for a long while. The machines that matter are the tabulators, not the user-facing voting machines. There's been an oligopoly of 2 or 3 companies with very bad conflicts of interest involved since Reagan and maybe earlier. I mean, that is true. There is a very short list of the amount of companies that handle all of this, even from the front end to the back end. I'm gonna be telling these piggy journalists again to be quiet, piggy. Quiet, piggy. That's enough. The woke news journalists are scared of me. Sean Hannity's my new FBI director as of today. Can you imagine? Trump and his 18 co-defendants, including his personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, and former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, were hit with a wide-ranging racketeering indictment in August of 2023. Like, again, this was brought up in front of a grand jury. Right, like if a grand jury decided to indict Trump and these other people, then it stands to reason that the case should have proceeded, right? They were accused of engaging in a scheme to illegally overturn the election results in a key swing state. 4 of Trump's co-defendants took plea deals. I mean, like. They pleaded guilty to this stuff because they knew that if found guilty, it would have been worse for them if they went to trial. So why these charges were dropped is beyond me. It is a disservice to the people of Georgia. Giuliani, personal lawyer, sleeps upside down in a closet. I believe that. Most democracies do not use voting machines. A spokesperson for Giuliani, Ted Goodman, said in a statement that the dismissal of charges is long overdue and presents a complete repudiation of the demonstrably false claims that partisan actors use to justify his improper disbarment. No, this has nothing to do with that. You just got lucky, bro. That's what happened. Scandalakis' decision might not be much of an aid in getting the former New York mayor's law license back. He was critical of some of Giuliani's conduct in the court filings and said that he was reluctant to criminalize the act of attorneys providing flawed legal advice to Trump. Those lawyers should be accountable to state bars or any violation of professional conduct. Yeah, sure, dude. Whatever. It represents a miscarriage of justice. I agree. In a 22-page memo explaining the reasoning for his charging decision, Skandalakis noticed the entire case is without precedent and pointed in part to challenges of trying a case against the sitting president. So then, like, again, if this is the weak sauce excuse, right, then what you're saying is, effectively, right, what you're saying is that a president can't be charged. What you're saying is a president should not be held to account in any meaningful way. Because if you're saying like, oh well, too bad he's a sitting president, we can't really do much. This was done in August of 23. Okay, why is he so when he's gone, right? Does it really matter? Like, what kind of justice is going to be had when he already screwed the people of Georgia and effectively got away with it? It doesn't really matter if he gets charged 5 years from now, 10 years from now, right? Like, it really does us no good. He shouldn't have been allowed to run a second time. And it doesn't matter. Like, who cares if he's a sitting president? He should be able to be charged. He noted that charges against Trump centered on a phone call that the then president made to the state's top election official in 2021 to find enough votes to change Joe Biden's win to a loss. There's no realistic prospect that a sitting president will be compelled to appear in Georgia to stand trial on the allegations in this indictment. He wrote, noting Trump's current term does not end until January 20th of 2029. So yeah, I mean, so what? So we just let him do whatever he wants, I guess. Would this be happening under a Democratic president? I'm confused here. Like, if there was a situation where a Democratic president was under this much scrutiny, right, for trying to change the outcome of an election in a swing state, like, do you think that these people would be like, well, we should respect, the office of the presidency, and we'll just, it is what it is. Yeah, right. This would be impeachment. This would be calls for the Democrat to step down. I mean, like, this wouldn't be happening under a Democratic administration, right? And so does Stephen Miller, aka Nosferatu. True. By that point, 8 years will have elapsed since the phone call at issue, Skandalauskas wrote, and even then an immediate jury trial would be impossible. So, yeah, I guess, whatever. Given the complex issues involved, getting the case to trial by 2031 would be nothing short of a remarkable feat, and waiting that long would deprive his co-defendants the right to a speedy trial. So, yeah, no, I guess, the president just can do whatever he wants, right? Because that's what you're arguing for, essentially. Skandalakis said he did not believe it would be fair to sever Trump's case from others because he is the lead defendant in the case and bears the responsibility for any conspiracy if it were proved at trial. He also suggests that the similar federal case that had been brought by special counsel Jack Smith, which was dismissed after Trump was elected, would have been the better form given the allegations involved. Never before, and hopefully never again, will our country face circumstances such as these. Yeah, but like, you let it slide, so we will be having to face circumstances like this, right? Because what you're saying is that, like, oh well, my hands are tied. That's the president now. Yeah, good luck, everybody. If he does it again, or if Republicans, do it in the future, right? Who cares? Bunker Cat, thank you for the follow. B Cat, welcome. Wolf Glen, welcome. The normal way is to impeach by the House and conviction from the senators. You cannot take a sitting president to court while they're in office. Well, then that's a massive flaw that needs to be fixed, because that can't be. Like, you can just be a criminal and have no repercussions. Dems really need to rally behind one of these judges like Boasberg and brand themselves as the party of justice. I mean, if they cared, this would be a whole lot of different story. Remember the machines that matter. The same problems could be reproduced with people. The machines just cut down on the number of people who have to be involved, so leaks are less likely. A team of people counting votes could easily lie about the results in like fashion. I suppose a machine could also allow a malefactor to program the machine unseen and have unwitting people run them. Yeah, I guess so. It's oddly enough, I would say probably like the machines are okay. Mo Business, welcome. How are you? Hanging in there. Scanalankis, a former district attorney and head of the Prosecuting Attorneys Council of Georgia, officially took over the case earlier this month. He had been tasked with finding a replacement prosecutor after Willis unsuccessfully challenged her disqualification. He said he chose himself after everyone he contacted declined the appointment. Willis, whose office began investigating the case in 2021, was disqualified by state appeals court after finding an appearance of impropriety that had been created by a romantic relationship Willis had with the special prosecutor Nathan Wade, whom she hired to lead the case. After she lost her appeal in September, she said, "I hope that whoever is assigned the case will have the courage to do what the evidence and the law demands." And then they didn't. And then they didn't. Dems are the paid losers in the KFAB. Really quickly, folks, before we get out of here, got one more. Federal judge in Colorado declares ICE practice of warrantless arrests illegal because they are. The reason you can't take a president to court is that they would never get anything done, as they would be constantly in court for silly things, at least. Well, yeah, I mean, I get that, but, like, I think that there are, certain things, like, for example, if the president commits murder or something, that you would be like, now hold on, now hold on, maybe those people should be arrested and tried. I don't know. Waxing philosophical, coming in, excuse me, with the raid, a party of 7. Thank you so much. Welcome, everybody. My name is A Difficult Truth. I do the news. I do the politics. We're here Monday, Wednesday, Thursday at around 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We're about to head out after this story here. So stick around, folks. If you enjoy the content, hit the like button. Bunker Cat with 100 biddies. Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate it. Presidents commit murder all the time, though. I mean, like, literally, like, they did it themselves. Like, they just, I don't know, decided to shoot somebody or something. Impeach them. Yeah, but, like, what if they don't get impeached? Like, that's the problem, right? Like, there has to be some kind of guardrails when Congress fails to act, right? Because if not, then, like, we have a serious issue, right? A loophole, if you will. President Grant got arrested for recklessly driving his horse-drawn carriage. Right, like, yeah, you're doing something that's obviously, like, really bad. I mean, like, I don't know. I welcome too soon. Trump was impeached twice and that failed. Yeah. I mean, I get what Wolfclan is correct. It's just like, man, that seems like maybe we should change that. Maybe it shouldn't be that the president enjoys this kind of amount of immunity, right? Essentially, there's limitations when you can be when you can be charged for murder. That's true. That's true. That is different. Than trying to overturn, like, anyway, it's like, yeah, maybe that was a bad example. The point being is something so serious as trying to finagle the election results is wild. That he is basically just going to skate on that. He's just basically gonna get a free ride. He's in the clear. Woke A Difficult Truth loves Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe, doesn't he? In his ruling, federal judge R. Brooke Jackson wrote that the immigration officials are entrusted with enforcing immigration laws and are authorized to pursue an aggressive deportation agenda. They may arrest and initiate removal proceedings against individuals they believe are present without lawful status, but in carrying out these responsibilities, they must follow the law. But they're not. So now, it is possible that they are going to be semi-restraint in Colorado. The ruling stated that plaintiffs are four individuals who had been deep and long-standing ties to their communities, including parents, spouses, children, stable employment histories, and active participation in local churches. No reasonable officer could have reasonably concluded these plaintiffs were likely to flee before a warrant could be obtained. Yeah, also, like, really, these are... Remember, we're being told that ICE is only targeting criminals, right? Like, the worst of the worst. Apparently that is not the case. They're targeting parents. They're targeting workers. They're targeting people who are just doing the right thing at their immigration hearings. Bella, thank you so much for the tip. Hey, thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate the support, folks. Thank you. The U.S. Constitution is poorly constructed. The Senate is super bad in general. It functions very poorly in the face of coherent parties, which Dems try at all costs to avoid ever becoming. True. I'm not going to disagree on that. Earlier filing in the suit, the Attorney General's office for Colorado said Congress has authorized immigration officials to interrogate individuals and to conduct arrests with or without warrants. Cool. The Department of Homeland Security issued a statement by the Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin saying this activist ruling, of course, is an effort to hamstring the Trump administration from fulfilling the president's mandate to deport the worst of the worst criminal illegal aliens. Except that's not what's happening at all. Allegations that the DHS law enforcement engages in racial profiling are disgusting, reckless, and categorically false. That's not true at all. They were literally arguing for this in front of the Supreme Court. So that is just a flat-out lie. Because what other criteria are they making these stops on? They're profiling. It's obvious. They literally fought for the ruling in California. What makes someone a target for immigration enforcement is if they're illegally in the U.S., not their skin color, race, or ethnicity. That's not true at all. In fact, one of the criteria in which ICE can stop you is by the way you look, your employment, and your whether or not you speak Spanish. So by definition, yeah, you are profiling by ethnicity, by race, and by skin color. I mean, like, think about it, right? Think about it. What does an American look like? Yeesh. Sorry, Soul Life. Carolyn Levitt's sister-in-law got detained by ICE. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, fascism goes inward, folks. Eventually, they'll come for you, too. I'm going live on Fox News right now. I'm spilling the tea on the woke progressive streamers like Sam Cedar, Little Samuel, and Cenk Uygur. Cenk Uygur. Has anybody heard of him? Yeah, Family Guy meme. So yeah, like ask yourself this: like, what does an American look like when in the context of like how ICE would determine that, right? Like, what do you look American? I don't know what that means. To them, it means white. Okay. If you look brown, okay. If you look like not from here, okay, you will be stopped. If you speak a different language, you might be stopped. Gotta get a MAGA hat, but printed a few shades darker, so when they look at a person, they look a few shades lighter in comparison. The judge ordered the government to refund the costs incurred by Ms. Deus Gonglifs and other plaintiffs in the case to obtain and post their bonds. Actually, hold on. This is also important. The Supreme Court recently vindicated us on this question elsewhere, and we look forward to further vindication in the case. The Supreme Court case that she's referencing is where they actually argued that they could and should be allowed to racially profile. This must be destroying the tanning bed industry. Barry Weiss is a great woman. She'll straighten out CBS fake news after many years of being woke. The court has confirmed what has been enshrined in federal law for decades. ICE cannot terrify our communities with haphazard warrantless arrests, said Tim McDonald, ACLU of Colorado legal director. A federal court has now declared ICE must immediately stop these aggressive and unlawful tactics. Whether or not they do is remain to be seen. I'm Chalk White. I speak enough Spanish and German to get by, enough French, Italian, and Portuguese to get through bodega checkout counters. Nice. No, I just speak Spanish and English. All right, folks, I got to get out of here. It is just under 7 o'clock, and oh, look, you got the cat on the stream. Look, she decided to pose right there. Thank you all for being here, folks. Spanish was my first language. Me too. Has Barry Weiss always been shy, or is she like Matt Taibbi? I think, like, I believe, like, no, I understand that at some point, Matt Taibbi was a little bit more base, but like my take on all this is that, like, if you're one of those like Matt Taibbi types or Glenn Greenwald types, right, who pretended to be progressive, and then like all of a sudden, it just took the woke. It just took the woke, and then like all of a sudden, the left went too far, so I can't be a part of that. Then that tells me it's like you were never progressive at all, because like if that's what it took, right? Like the same thing with like Anna Kasparian, right? If that's what it took for you to just throw away all your principles, then like perhaps maybe you never had those principles to begin with, and you were just pretending. That's my take on it. I don't know if that Barry Weiss would count on that, because to me, I've only heard her in the conservative spaces. I thought Glenn was cool when all of a sudden, when all I knew about him was the Snowden stuff, lost shine fast. Yeah, I mean, Godspeed. I'm sure he's done great work, but it seems to me like those principles weren't maybe as strong as you pretended them to be. Have a good and safe Turkey Day. You too. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you hanging out. Thank you. You guys are what makes this channel go. I appreciate it. You owe us 20 minutes. I'm gonna have to make it up somehow at some point. Okay, you can put it on my you can put it on my tab. Okay. Right? Don't be Zion. We cool. No, I don't. I'm not a big fan of genocide. As it turns out. Not a big fan. Not a big fan. Not a big fan of genocide and ethno-state projects. Ground level news. Welcome. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Michael Hasser, for modding the chat. If you want to support the channel, look at that. Look at all the links there, folks. There it is. Someone tipped. Oh my goodness. Where did it go now? I know I thanked them. And now I can't see it anymore. Well, I appreciate that. And you can do that with ! tip. Check out the merch store. Substack. This space. Kitty, yeah, she's right there. I might even fly to Turkey after which the birds were named. Nice. This is a conduit of interesting and important information. It was neighbor really, it was never really about him. Plenty of others could have done the things I liked. Yeah, I understand. Thanks for the stream. Appreciate it. Enjoy family time. Yeah, heck yeah. I'm ready for the food, okay? Appreciate that, Saris. Yeah, kitty. I want my Tesla Roadster. Appreciate all of you guys being here. We'll be back on Monday about 5 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, folks, it's time for me to go. Thank you all. As always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one, either Monday or Tuesday. I don't know, but we'll see. See ya. Hang tight, folks. Hang tight. All right, folks. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.